Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Sean.
I'm Anvesha.
And we are Anglobong. So guys, today we're doing a little something different for all you guys. I'm going to react to one of Joe Rogan's podcast videos. If you guys do not know who Joe Rogan is, he is one of the most earliest, I think, YouTubers who started a podcast on his own. And he's made it pretty big. He's huge on Spotify, on YouTube. And he's one of the earliest, I think, YouTuber, the content creators who made a podcast of his own. And that went viral immediately.
I think podcasts are getting very popular on YouTube.
Right.
10 years back, you never really thought of, just listening to people sitting and talking. But now it has actually picked up.
Picked up big time. And before it was just, I would say, radio. People would listen to the radio and the FM and hear discussions, but now people want to see you talking, see you debating amongst other people, and it's become a very viral genre of this industry. And he's the pioneers of the podcasting genre in this industry as well. And it's a very interesting topic today that we are going to react on.
What is the topic?
It's called the possibility of AI being used in propaganda.
Propaganda.
So as most of you guys know that AI is artificial intelligence, and how through ChatGPT, through different AI tools, social media tools, video tools, people are able to manipulate certain things.
WhatsApp had already started it, isn't it? Don't they call WhatsApp University, the people who spread the propaganda? They call WhatsApp University in India, at least, because that's how they spread all the misinformation and false news, which is not true. So I think WhatsApp is also, this is also AI, kind of AI.
Kind of, and I think most of the political parties worldwide, every country has a right and a left wing. So both sides have their own IT department, IT cell, where they try to make these kind of memes or this propaganda to obviously influence their side, either the right or the left. So I mean, and it's being used right now in a very negative way, because any images which you see are fake, deep fakes. But if it's circulated around the web, then it would cause a lot of issues, I guess, with people who have some problems with a certain group or religion or community. It would spark a hate, basically.
I just wanted to see what Google has to say, what the actual meaning of propaganda is. Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view. So any kind of misinformation that wants to influence your thoughts and beliefs,
very biased,
and make it like biased towards that by obviously false news, false information. So and that is what propaganda is.
And each media house has their own leaning towards a specific agenda. So they would obviously give their own propaganda. But the use of AI has become so much more now that people would think these videos or these whatever the clips are actually genuine, but they are fake. And that would make a lot of issues.
I think my mother is very gullible. She's on Facebook and she keeps getting these videos that have circulated and it's got millions of views, and then talking about, just today she was talking about how she saw many angels in the sky that have in Israel they've sighted angels in the sky, and I told her, no, don't believe everything the internet shows you.
Those could be, those are definitely cropped and faked. I mean, that's obvious, pretty obvious. So this entire video regarding Joe Rogan, this is regarding the AI, artificial intelligence, in the use of propaganda.
I think in India, people are very gullible here. And
I think all over the world, in fact, all over the world.
And most people don't understand it. At least the older generation, they don't really understand technology that much. So whatever they see, they take it for face value and they think it's real. So without wasting any more time,
let's check out Joe Rogan's the possibility of AI being used in propaganda and see what he's talking about.
And if you guys have not checked out the video, please go down. The link has been given for you in the description box.
And if you guys haven't yet subscribed to also Joe Rogan, what are you doing? He's one of the biggest podcasters and YouTube content creators in the world. So head down and the link is given below. So do subscribe to Joe Rogan also. And let's get into the reaction with you guys.
Let's start.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
What's really wild is like there's people that get away with not telling you the numbers.
Oh, Netflix?
Like Netflix gets away with. We were just discussing this last night because
Right.
a friend of mine was saying like, "What are you thinking about this actor strike?" And I said, really don't know enough about it to comment other than, look, if you're a person and you do something, like even if you're a comic and you do something on Netflix, like when I've done Netflix specials, they just say it's doing really well. And you go like, what does that mean? Like, how many people are watching it? We're really happy.
Yeah.
What does that mean? We're really happy. It's doing great. What are the numbers?
What do you think is the purpose of keeping it secret?
Well, it's a genius move because they don't have to tell you.
So a company as big as Netflix is doing that. That means they're just saying that it's doing well, and
But
then
not giving the numbers.
what people think is, oh, if something is doing well, so we need to watch it too. What are we missing out? So actually something is not doing well, but then you say it's doing well, so more people come to watch it. Nice.
And I think also if it's regarding the artist, the stand-up comedian or whoever artist is on Netflix doing a show on Netflix, Netflix is not even giving them the numbers, I guess. So if it's also doing extremely well, where the artist can earn much more through royalty or through whatever means, they don't give them the numbers. So
Yeah, possible.
that's also a possibility.
Correct.
So you can't really
Save
negotiate big. Like if you
Save
do
profit.
a special, and that special is 10 million people watch it. Who are, oh shit,
It gives
we
them
gotta
all the
pay
leverage.
Hassan more money next time. Because if he finds out that this many people are watching, you don't know until you go out on the road and then you sell more tickets and you're like, oh, people enjoyed it. I guess it worked.
Right.
But when you don't have any data from the company, they could just not give you the data. Like on their side, it's great for negotiation. Like they
Right.
don't have to tell you shit.
It's just they have all the leverage.
There was an article about this yesterday.
Okay. Sarandos defends not disclosing streaming numbers. Creators felt trapped by ratings box office. So how does he defend it? I like Ted Sarandos, by the way. He's a very nice guy.
The longer paragraph is here, but it's
Part of our promise with creators at the time we started creating original programming, our creators felt like they were pretty trapped in this kind of overnight ratings world. And they're trapped by ratings.
We're doing this for them.
Yeah, we're doing it for them.
We're doing it for them. They don't know.
Overnight ratings, an analyst.
So basically, these big corporations do not want to share the figures with even the artist because of ratings, and they would get hurt or they would feel insecure. So that is the quote unquote the line that they have given. Very interesting. I mean, obviously they would want to share the
Insecure.
profits. Yeah.
Interview that went live, weekend box office world defining their success and failures. Sarandos said during a pre-recorded analyst interview, that's a little gaslighty. And as we know, a show might have enormous success down the road, and it wasn't captured in that opening box office. So part of this was the relationship with the talent, not just the business aspect of it.
Well,
and I do think that over time, people are much more interested in this. We're on a continuum of today of how much data do we publish. I think we've been leading the charge, starting everyone down the path of a top 10, publishing our top 10 lists and our annual wrap-up list, and everything to give a lot of transparency to the viewing. And I just expect we'll be more and more transparent. Just say the numbers. This is a weird little dance you're doing.
So the entire response that Netflix or probably some other big production house has given, that entire paragraph didn't mean shit. Basically, that was it. It was just trying to go around the bush and not get to the point. I mean, why they're not giving the numbers and why they're not sharing the actual figures and numbers with the artist or with the normal audience to see how well a show is doing.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of big words, a lot of big sentences, but they didn't mean anything at the end of the
because
day.
it's like YouTube, it's transparent. The views are transparent. How many
Exactly.
views a video gets. It's completely open to everyone,
How
whether
many
you're
likes,
subscribed or not.
Views, everything is mentioned.
You
over
can't
there.
hide it from
Exactly.
anybody. So, but on Netflix and any other platform, it's not like that.
Very weird. Didn't know that. Okay.
To avoid, just tell people what the numbers are.
Yeah,
YouTube was saying yesterday too that on top of this that they might be changing the way videos work. I think they said for the first 24 hours that all stats will be live, like live viewer count, live thumbs up. I guess people really want to know that. Sounds
Okay.
opposite of what he was just saying.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
does
that's
seem
what
like
people want. They want to know what's successful and what's not.
it does seem interesting that he says that, like, oh, we have, a show might do better as time goes on, and the initial box office numbers might not reflect that. But it's like but then you're also canceling all these shows the time they
Yeah.
get the second and third season,
Yeah, shut up.
right? So it's like it just there's no it doesn't lend that
No,
credibility.
we're
what he's
doing
saying.
it for the creators.
Right.
Guys, we love you.
Right.
We love you. We're doing it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like a very abusive relationship. That sounds
So
like-
I would imagine that has something to do with, I think if you were an actor and you were a star of a Netflix movie and it was fucking huge, you would want to know what the numbers are.
Obviously, yeah.
right.
That's got to be part of their, I don't know, is that part of what they're asking for? I know it's streaming revenue.
I think
First of all, also because if you know the actual numbers as an artist, say for example, I'm a huge star and I've done a movie with Netflix, and if I come to know the actual statistics, the numbers, the figures, then that would first of all give me a higher share because movie has done well, profit. Second of all, that would boost me up as an artist. It would give me more confidence to venture out and do something similar or something different in that genre. So I mean, it's an overall plus negative for everybody, but not sharing numbers is something very weird, very strange.
I think platforms are not doing it also because there's competition from other platforms. Like there's Apple TV, there's Netflix, there's Hotstar. So they don't want the other, platform to know
How many
what their
views, what's the
numbers
success, yeah. But then again, I mean, you don't have to share it with the audience. Maybe just the artist himself, you can give the information, how it's
Then
done.
that also has a negative because if a production is going to Netflix with their project and then Netflix is quoting them this and then it's not good enough, so then they will go to the other one. So if everything is out in the open, then it falls in the hands of these production companies who they want to go to. I think it all there must be a reason why.
I think it's purely a monetary reason. Obviously,
Of
I mean,
course,
if you want to save profit by not giving the artist or not giving the stars who have contributed their content or their acting on your platform, it's not fair for them. I mean, you're just trying to withhold information which could lead to success of the artist, and the artist might come back and work with you again in the future. But because you're not giving the information, he might choose to work with some other production house, not with Netflix. He might choose to work with some other person. So I think they should.
But
I mean, again,
is it only Netflix that's doing it and not the
maybe
other?
others, but they have mentioned Netflix over
Because
here.
that is the biggest, I
Biggest,
think,
yeah.
as of now.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay.
that was one of the things I asked you.
This is one of the things. There's like the AI characters too.
Yes.
That's a big part of this because SAG's still in strike, right?
I believe so, yes. So I think the AI thing was, there was one contract that I don't know if it was actually someone actually trying to get people to sign it, or if it was just being discussed, where they would pay the extra, like an extra would be on the set,
And they'd
and
scan
then
their face.
they own their digital image. They could use it forever. So they could put you in the background of the fucking Hulk movie. They could put you in the background of it. So like conspiracy theorists believe they're crisis actors. They
Right.
show up at every mass shooting and start talking about something, and it's bullshit. Like this is the most evil of conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
But this crisis actor thing, imagine if you just start seeing like AI people in every fucking movie, every disaster movie. You see that same guy,
Yeah.
like that's that dude.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
like
dude
the-
probably got paid $200.
It's like the Wilhelm scream, but with like people's faces.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
that's what it'll be
right.
like. Oh, if it's a disaster scene, this guy's in it.
Well, maybe they'll be able to morph your image, give you a mustache, fake
probably-
nose. Yeah, I'm sure they can. You can tweak your face. I mean, they could face swap you with different extras. They can do all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What they can do? Did you see the Unreal 5 video game engine?
Yeah,
the car on
the
fire.
car on fire.
Jamie, see if you could play that. Someone said,
this-
I forget the tweet, but it was something.
I think this video I have seen on either YouTube or Facebook a couple of days ago. It looks so real. It's basically a car on fire. Maybe after an accident or bombing or something, and the car has exploded and it's on fire. It looks so genuine until you really look at it properly. You know, it's a deep fake.
Okay.
But I mean,
Let's see it
the
then.
AI is amazing in this. You can check it out.
Along the lines of you're not going to be able to ever know what's real again.
No, and if it feels this way looking at the news with what's going on over in Israel and Palestine, it's like, what am I seeing? How much of this is real? What's how much, like, the propaganda on top of that, the like
shitty reporting.
It's like it's so interesting that we have phones and we have the access to information constantly, and now we just know if none of that information is true.
Well, we just know quickly what actually happened if you're online and paying attention, and the mainstream news is so far behind that.
Right.
Coleman Hughes was on yesterday. He was saying that the original narrative was that Israel bombed a hospital in Gaza.
Right.
What actually happened was another Islamic terrorist group launched a missile. It failed, and it landed in the parking lot of the hospital. So this is fake. This is the Unreal 5 engine. You see a car on fire, and then they have a little video thing pop through it.
Just the car is fake. The rest of the video should be real.
So they inserted a car into a real scene. Is that what they did?
But
Yes.
no one really knows though, honestly, because
How you know it's fake? You can saw that small pink kind of like a balloon. Yeah, they use that balloon to go through the car. Now, if it's going through, obviously it's fake. It's not real. So the balloon is going through. If something is real, like a house, a building, or another car, it wouldn't go through it. It would go around it or behind it probably. But this is going through the thing. I'll show you again. So this is how you know it's fake. I mean, crazy.
So they inserted a car into a
going
real
through the
scene. Is that what they did?
but
Yes.
no one really knows though, honestly,
So what
because
is fake?
Unreal
Is
Engine
the
looks so
fire
fucking
fake?
good.
The
They're
car
doing
itself
a
is not
video
there?
of
The
a
car is not
5.3,
there.
and it looks.
But I
fucking-
could imagine that's all the video engine.
It
Why
could-
would you
no,
think
it
that?
could be? But like right there, that person walking in the background,
Yeah, but you could do that.
you could.
Well, that would be easy because they're not even in focus. That would be so easy in comparison to this car that's in focus.
That's just
flames, the
I've watched a
smoke,
lot of
it's
it.
all-
I
it's all
just don't.
fake.
I think that all they did was add that.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, you might be right, but either way, look how good that car on fire
Yeah, I
looks.
mean, it looks
fucking incredible.
very real.
And look how the flames vary. Like the flames vary like an actual flame would. It's not like sometimes you'll watch like digital flames. They do the same pattern
Right.
over and over and over again. But this just looks like real fucking fire.
There's a level
is
of randomness.
reacting
It's
to this
reacting
thing,
to
too.
the thing in it.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. Yeah,
It's
the
so
thing
weird
is
that
making the
when
smoke.
It's going through, the balloon is going through the smoke and the fire. It's also shifting the smoke, like it's like a real thing that's going through the smoke for which the patterns are shifting.
The smoke is shifting, changing direction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Move.
So real.
Motherfucker, dude. They're so good now. You're not gonna have any idea.
No, you
See,
can't
the
tell. You can't tell
smoke
what's
moves.
real at all anymore.
And I think it was in 2015 they passed a law that allowed the CIA to use propaganda on citizens for the greater good of the nation. Yeah, no, there was something like that.
I mean, that's always been a thing, though. It's funny that they needed
Right.
to pass a law.
Well, now they can't get arrested for it, or no one can get in trouble for it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but no one was really getting in trouble for it.
No one was really getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, they killed the president allegedly.
right. It's more like them dotting their I's and crossing their T's.
Yeah.
Like, let's just make sure that
What
no
is
one.
that law, Jamie?
I was just looking it up. I just stumbled across an article from the New York Times, 1977. Worldwide propaganda network built by the CIA.
Oh, I can't imagine.
1977.
I can't find the article really, but it's.
It's
showing
so
all-
hard to know what's real and what's not real.
Very
I
true.
think that's like what we talked about with the shift in COVID. What it really caused. It's like now I'm just suspicious of everything.
Everything.
Of everything. Everything I read, I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
What angle is it coming from? Who's funding this?
Exactly. And it didn't used to be that
So
way.
this is
man.
what comes up about what we were just talking about, though.
Obama did not sign a law allowing propaganda in the U.S. Okay, so here's the claim. Former President Barack Obama signed a law in 2012 allowing government propaganda in the U.S. and making it perfectly legal for the media to purposely lie to the American people. AP's assessment, false. In 2000.
Like how that guy mentioned, I guess maybe even most of you can, if you can, comment down below. After COVID, many people lost trust in the media, in the institutions, and in the overall, I think, governing bodies of every country or even the international governing body. And I think for me it applies. I don't know about you guys. If you have, then you can mention in the comment section. But I think post-COVID, there was a lot of issues with, a lot of trust issues with everything, medical related, media related, lot of stuff. And what this guy says made sense. I mean, now you question everything, where the funds have come from, where the funds are going, how much is the media trying to force you to believe something? Because when something is real, you don't need to be forced to believe it. You would automatically see and you would understand and believe it. You would use your mind, your common sense. But when something is being pushed down your throat, that this is the truth, most of the time that is not the truth, that is a lie. So
I think post-COVID people have become a little more aware and have started to question a little more.
Exactly.
Rather than blindly follow what they're being told.
Which is high time. I mean, which is very high time. I mean, you just shouldn't just believe everything you see, and you shouldn't also not believe everything you see. You should use your own mind, your own sensibility, research on your own. Look at both sides. I always say, look at both sides, whether right or the left. Look at both sides and see what is the common thread between both these, and that is probably the truth most of the time.
2013, Obama signed legislation that changed the U.S. Information and Education Exchange Act of 1948, also known as the Smith-Mundt Act. The amendment made it possible for some materials created by the U.S. Agency for Global Media, the nation's foreign broadcasting agency, to be disseminated in the U.S. The facts: a post circulating on Facebook with a photo of Obama falsely states that he repealed a ban on government propaganda in the U.S. when he signed the National Defense Authorization Act in 2013. The amendment did not repeal the Smith-Mundt Act, but rather lifted some restrictions on the domestic dissemination of government-funded media. Okay. Government-funded media, though, is you're getting close to propaganda. Right? Okay, so here, the change essentially eased restrictions for Americans who wanted to access government-funded media.
We're doing it for you.
Did Ted Sarandos write this?
We're making it easier for you to access it.
The change.
So government-funded media, I mean, the word itself suggests that it's government-funded. So obviously, what the government wants to promote and push agenda, they would promote that on their media. Like Chinese media is all government-funded. Then Russian also, I think to some extent, Russian is also government funded. And slowly we are seeing most countries also having that certain biased channel or news media outlet which the government funds to push their agenda. So yeah.
Essentially eased restrictions for Americans who wanted to access government-funded media content. Because, most Americans really want to access government-funded media content.
I can't think of anything better. Would I rather watch Game of Thrones or government-funded media content? I think I'd go.
Allowing media produced by the U.S. agency for global media such as the Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty to be made available to Americans upon request. It was not possible before the law was changed. Even upon request, if I wanted to get it through the Freedom of Information Act, for instance, they couldn't do it. The amendment changed that, says Gabe Rotman, director of the Reporters Committee's Technology and Press Freedom Project. Boy, whenever someone puts freedom in their project, I'm like,
I don't trust anything of that.
Bullshit, son. Is it Patriot Freedom? The Patriot Act.
I just think it's so funny that government-funded media was behind some sort of wall to begin with. That's kind of interesting.
Well, it says there was essentially a de facto ban on the government dissemination of materials originating from the State Department. Yeah, because we didn't trust you. Yeah. We didn't trust you to just fucking make these claims. Journalists are supposed to make these claims.
Right.
You're not supposed to release the news if you're the government. No. Journalists are supposed to.
This term regarding freedom, like you mentioned, people now, I think, all the more have doubts when you use the word freedom or when the government says freedom, because there's something always behind that, some ulterior motive behind that. And since I watch a bit of the US politics and US news, there was a president in the 80s. His name was Ronald Reagan. And he was the president of US that time in the 80s. He said that if anyone comes to you from the government, says, I'm here to help you, that's just the opposite. Don't trust them. And he was a president at that time, I think, and he said it. So for him to say it, that if somebody comes from the government approaching you, saying that I'm here to help you, I'm here for your help, it's usually not true. It's usually the opposite. They're there to harm you, or they're to kind of change your mind or manipulate you. And that's a fact. I mean, if the government is so caring that they are coming out of the way to help you, and there's no benefit for them, it's very unlikely. No one is that good, especially in the government, for sure.
Let's go in there and find out what's actually going on.
Right, and then I guess later we find out that they're really influencing these news companies anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? It's so funny.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I
don't know. It sounds like a sneaky way to get propaganda to people. But I thought there was something else where it was proposing that they were allowed to use propaganda if it was for the greater good. I thought that was a part of the whatever it was, the National Defense Authorization Act, which the one that allowed for indefinite detention. There was one that had like some real sweeping oversteps where people were like, yo, indefinite detention.
Is that the same sort of stuff they used to get the guy who made the memes?
This is
in
an
trouble?
article from 2013, but it explains everything we just read.
It's this reminds me of this is for whatever reason reminds me of I went to watch Fast 7 in the theaters.
Fast and the Furious.
Fast
7?
and the Furious 7. It was only me in the theater. Well, it was me. It was me and this one lady, and at one point the lady goes, walks out and leaves. It's like, that's your fault. You came to Fast 7.
Yeah.
But in it, I think it's Fast 7. There is this hacker that creates this thing that can see into every phone and see into every traffic light. They can get in, and the whole Fast and Furious crew's job is to get this hacker and get her program and give it to the U.S. military, because the U.S. military are the good guys and they need to have this. You don't want to end this up in the bad guys' hands. And it's like, I just remember thinking like, wow, this is blatant, like weird propaganda in Fast 7.
Yeah.
I came to see cars jump out of, skyscrapers, not this. This is interesting.
Well, it's also they feel
Fast
like
7
those kind of
is
movies
the movie.
sell
Yeah, the
to
movie
the
Fast
kind
and
of people
Furious
who
Fast.
like those kind of movies.
Right.
Like those kind of concepts. Like if you like Fast and the Furious 7, you might.
And it's always the government which are the good guys, even though the government wants your access, the government wants your information, the government wants your data information from your app, the government wants to control certain things. So it's always the government which is portrayed as the good guys.
Yeah.
And the hackers and the bad guys are the ones that want everyone to know the truth. Like even this WikiLeaks, the guy, what's his name? Julian Assange. Yeah, he also, he exposed the Clintons and other presidents regarding the wars in Iraq and everything. And it was basically a thing to get money and to get the oil from there, that everyone knows by now. But he was exposed for that, while the people who were actually engaged in the war,
committing
the war
wrong
crimes,
things.
they weren't charged with one single crime. And this guy, wanting to expose the truth, he's been put in jail or under house arrest, I guess. So it's very deep, very, very deep.
I'd have a MAGA hat. You might have a Confederate flag in your fucking den.
Okay. So guys, this was the video of Joe Rogan, the possibility of AI being used in propaganda. And I think it's a very relevant topic these days, with the war also in Israel and Palestine. And what videos that we're watching, how many of those videos are actually genuine and how many are fake? You might say, yes, Sean, this is fake, that is genuine. Now, obviously, if you are from the Palestinian side, you will say you will support Palestine. Obviously, you will say the Israel ones are fake, and those who are from the Israel side, they'll say the Palestinian. So it's vice versa. You can't really choose any one side. But if you go to see, some of them will be fake, and that they use those videos to emotionally charge people, because they know people are very emotional, especially when it comes to your own community, your own faith, your religion. And that is what sells. Religion sells. So they know if they have to promote division, try to get to someone's emotional character, emotional part. So that would really ignite something, and it would cause a bigger divide. So we are
we are not denying the fact that this is actually happening and lives are getting lost from both sides.
Sure. There's a big loss of life.
Both sides.
For sure, definitely.
It's not like we are supporting one side and not the other. But I think when something like this happens, the governments fight, the countries fight, and it's the innocent lives that are lost the most.
Always.
So. And
it's a lot deeper than that. It's not just the surface where you're looking at Israel is bad or Palestine is bad. It's much more deeper than that, because certain, politicians do not want peace. This might sound strange, But this is again my opinion. Certain politicians do not want peace; they want war, because with war, what happens is there are certain arms and ammunition manufacturers who make machine guns, who make bombs, who make arms, and they they supply it. Now, if you are a country which makes those, you would want to supply to the country which needs those. So it's basically a demand and a supply. So at the end of the day, it's money coming in. So previously, people obviously don't want the wars to stop, because the war continues is where the the arms and ammunition get sold much more, weapons get sold much more. So there's more money coming in. So it's more deeper than that, and hopefully this war ends soon for everyone.
Definitely.
So guys, if you liked our reaction, we would appreciate you hit the like button, share the video, and if you're new to our channel, do subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more updates from us in the near future. Until then, we'll see you guys very soon.
Bye.